A developing story out of Russia this Tuesday. At least 8 people, most of them students, have been killed in a school shooting in the southwestern city of Kazan. At least 20 wounded as well. Local media reporting one suspect, a 19-year-old, has been arrested. Excuse me, witnesses have described hearing explosions as well. Such attacks are rare in Russia, but incidents have been rising, usually involving students.
There was one explosion, or maybe two. There was a strong bang. We jumped up and thought it was a truck. Then we heard alarms and ran out.
Keeping an eye on this situation from our London broadcast centre is Andrew Simmons. Andrew, bring us up to date.
Well, this whole affair happened in Kazan, which is the capital of the Tatarstan region. It's about 725 kilometers from Moscow. Now, one person, a 19-year-old, it's said, attacked the school. Certainly he had one rifle and another gun. The scenes were really very dramatic, disturbing images playing out on social media. 2 of the children jumped from the 3rd floor of the 4-storey building. And we're getting a figure, an official figure, as you've already reported, of 8 dead. That's apparently 1 teacher and 7 children. They're obviously, from the images you can see, these children are young, and they were running in total panic. It would appear there was automatic gunfire. The 19-year-old has been arrested on the scene. He was apparently manhandled and held down. Now, on social media, he apparently announced this attack. Whether it was before or after is unclear, and a picture has been posted of an individual wearing a red mask, apparently with a phone. Whether that's him or not, it's unclear. As I say, social media reporting most of the facts, although Rustam Minnikhanov, the governor of this state, of this region, has been giving the information. Earlier, there were reports of 11 dead. It is likely that the casualty figure could rise.
And what action has been taken by authorities there, Andrew?
Well, very quickly, there was a statement from Dmitry Peskov, the spokesperson for the Kremlin, and he's saying that the president has ordered the Viktor Solotov, the National Guard, the head of the National Guard, to actually immediately look at new regulations governing the types of weapons that can be held by civilians, because this 19-year-old apparently had a certificate to have a firearm. Now, apparently this is used in these rural areas as for hunting rifles, but there was a specific reference in Vladimir Putin's order that he wants regulations on the types of rifle used. Assault rifles have to be absolutely banished. Some suggestion there that he had elsewhere that this 19-year-old had 2 weapons. One hunting gun, possibly. It could have been a Kalashnikov. It could have been an automatic rifle and another weapon. So, yes, there is a grave concern about how many guns are in circulation, and certainly with young people like this. No motivation we've heard of whatsoever yet, although he has been called by the authorities a terrorist, but don't read much into that. No motivation, however.
OK, thank you, Andrew Simmons in London. We will continue the conversation with Fred Weir, Moscow correspondent for the Christian Science Monitor. Just picking up on what Andrew was talking about there, Fred, that's interesting in and of itself that the Kremlin seems to have reacted so quickly. I think when we hear of school shootings, usually it's something out of the United States where nothing changes. Here, the Kremlin moves incredibly quickly.
Yeah, well, of course, it's a tremendously shocking event in Russia. There have been a few of them over the years, but it's pretty rare, and especially as this clearly seems to be now an American-style mass shooting, because in Russia we have had terrorism, we've had school sieges whose motivations were ethnic or religious terrorism. This apparently is not such an event. It seems to have been just one shooter, even though there were earlier fairly confident reports that there had been 2. it's rather typical, this kind of confusion. But there was one person, a former student of that school, apparently. So it seems to fit the profile of an American-style shooting where a stressed out or mentally disturbed individual goes on a rampage for reasons that are not clear, certainly not political, ethnic, or religious in their motivation. So it's a pretty serious thing. It's all Russia is shocked. The news programs are leading with it, and there's an awful lot of still confused reporting going on. But I think that this is the sort of thing that's so rare in Russia that it does provoke a lot of soul searching, which, as you said, in the United States, is so routine that people just almost shrug it off.
Is there any significance, sorry to interrupt you, Fred, anything you can tell us actually about the region? I think, Russia's such a huge country, we don't hear much about places outside of Moscow or St. Petersburg. What about Kazan?
Tatarstan, it's a republic. Russia has 20 ethnic republics, as well as about 60 regions. And so the person who runs that republic is called the president, not the governor. And Tatarstan is a mixed region, majority ethnic Tatar, who are sort of Mongol-derived people. They speak a Turkic language, but there is a very high proportion, I think about 40% Russian population. So it's a mixed place. It has had nationalist tensions in the past, but it's been peaceful. I've visited a few times in the last few years. It's a beautiful city, Kazan, and overwhelmingly peaceful and calm. So this sort of thing, of course, would come as a terrible shock. Right there in that republic, as well as in the whole country.
Fred Weir from the Christian Science Monitor. Great to talk to you and get that sort of perspective. Thank you.